Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. I'm about to chill out on the video making and finish the book. I just realized in less than a week, this is now the 42nd video that I've made. I just counted and I had to laugh that this is number 42. What I just put out was number 41, which also made me laugh because the video is about 13 and 41's the 13th prime. And I promise you, I didn't intend to either. But anyway, I've been working hard to get out the information because a lot's going on in the world right now. I saw Bill Maher on Real Time. I can't stand that guy, but I saw he opened his last Friday show by saying, what a week of news. We had more news this week than we've had in whole years. And he was right. I mean, that's why I was so busy with all these videos. I told you guys I was stepping away to write the book. All of a sudden, a bunch of crazy stuff started going on. I had to show you what's up, and I've done just that. Well, in doing this, putting out this big video I did this morning, I had an epiphany in real time, and like I said in the video, I've been looking at a lot of 13.4, 134, and knowing that this number has to do with destruction. And last year, the Dow finished up 13.4%. We're going to come back to that. Ever since the Philadelphia train wreck, May 12th, 2015, I've been staring at this number 134. And I've been talking about how I see a pattern with it in destruction. And I could not figure out what it was. And it wasn't until this morning that it finally dawned on me what it's all about. Just for some quick examples, the Philadelphia train wreck was coded out with 134. You can go back and watch my work on it. The Challenger explosion to date with 134 numerology. A lot of events having to do with death and destruction. I've just decoded 134 and said, there that number is again. You know, hundreds of times in the thousands of videos that I have. Even in the film The Martian, I think that's what it's called, Matt Damon, he's on Mars, and if you don't know about the film, he gets stranded there and he has to survive, and he ends up using the excrement, the waste product of the astronauts to fertilize a patch of potatoes, which he survives on. Anyhow, in that film, if you watch, it's the 134th day that his whole facility gets destroyed. Just destroyed on the 134th day. And when that film came out, I'd already been talking about this 134 and destruction, and I saw the movie like 6 months after it came out. Somebody told me to check it out for this exact reason. And when I watched it, I said, wow. Well, here it is, Truth Seeker. Tisha B'Av is 134. And what's so interesting about that is Israel's Independence Day is May 14th, which is the 134th day of the year. In 2017, on May 14th, we just saw the synagogue that had been closed for 10 years burn up. Manhattan, where the World Trade Centers once fell. And remember, Tisha B'Av in Jewish gematria equals 911. We've known about this for about 2 years. Tisha B'Av, the destruction of the two temples, Solomon's temple, Herod's temple. Annual holy day remembering their destruction. Right now, ongoing debate. The nation of Israel wants to build the third temple on the site that the Muslims call, you know, their holy place. This is what this whole thing is about the temples. And we're approaching the time of the third temple. So anyway, Tisha B'Av has to do with destruction, and lo and behold, Tisha B'Av has reverse ordinal gematria of 134, something we just uncovered February of this year. A huge revelation. I don't know why it's taken me from February to now to connect this. Sometimes, that's what I mean, True Seeker. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit out there that we just overlook, that I overlook. And, you know, you apply this knowledge and look through your own eyes, you're going to see the things that I overlook. It's just like how when you write, you know, your own paragraphs and you read them, they're fine, and then you hand it to somebody else and they're like, hey, you have 2 thes here. And you're like, oh, weird, I read it 10 times and never noticed that. That's why I've said it from the beginning. I'm getting this knowledge out so more people can use it to benefit their own lives and help with the research. And that's absolutely happened. And the more minds contributing, the more and more it's going to grow. But Tisha B'Av, 134, number of destruction. I just want to show you some other things that are interesting about Tisha B'Av. Gematria of 82. like Armageddon. Seattle has the gematria of 82, and remember, the construction firm that built the World Trade Centers from Seattle, Seattle 82, Tisha B'Av 82. I'll give you another connection to the date September 11th and Tisha B'Av and 911 in Seattle by the end. Notice that Armageddon also has the gematria of 188. Just put out the long video this morning talking about the WannaCry virus, the coding of 188, the number of the Bavarian Illuminati that has their symbolism all over the dollar bill. Established May 1st, 1776, just before the American Revolution. Fear. Fear is their weapon. And Armageddon, that's fear. That's fear programming. My sister, she thought September 11th was Armageddon. She was up in Portland, Oregon, where I grew up. I was down at my first, semester of college. Just started school about 2 weeks before 9/11 happened, end of August. And, man, she was calling me on 9/11, telling me I had to go out and find a gas mask. We might all die. They could be poisoned. I was like, Jen, chill out. I said, this thing's all a show. I said, this thing's all a show. I saw it from square one. You can't demolish towers like that. Blame it on a man in a cave. How do you know that 30 minutes later? If you knew that, why didn't you stop it? No, that stuff's a joke. 9/11 was a joke. They told you they couldn't find the planes in the wreck, but they found the passports of the terrorists, the paper passports, their box cutter knives. They couldn't find the plane, but they found the box cutter knives, They couldn't find the other bodies or luggage, but somehow they recovered the terrorist passports and box cutter knives, and some reporting even said turbans. How racist. How ridiculous. The planes that cut through steel and concrete like a hot knife through butter. Anyhow, Tisha B'Av also has gematria of 53, number connected to religion. 9/11, religion, Tisha B'Av, the destruction of the two temples, first by the Babylonians, then the Romans. It has everything to do with religion. 9/11, ever since the agenda has been focused on Islam, the threat that is Islam. While the same nation scares its people about Islam, in record numbers, they begin funneling people from Muslim nations into the country who want to come to America, who want to come here because it's an opportunity. They heard the roads are gold, and they don't realize that at the same time, the people in America are being scared so relentlessly about Islam. And this is all done on purpose. This is all part of a sick joke, the people who've always ruled this nation. Tisha B'Av, gematria of 28, in the same method, so is Israel. Israel's the Zionist nation, Zion 28. Thalima's the occult religion that worships 93. Everything about Israel's history is 93. And I want you to remember the 93 World Trade Center bombing. I want you to remember Flight 93, which they couldn't find any plane debris in Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. Israel, Zion, Thalima, 28. Tisha B'Av, the two temples, ancient Israel history. So now think about this. The Dow Jones last year finished up 13.4%. If you study the history of the stock market, there's always a big rise before the big crash. When Obama became president, the Dow had crashed, and then it came surging back and went way higher than it had ever been before. And it keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. Before Obama was president, it had never been to 10,000. Now it's over 20,000? Think about it. The average American, they can't find full-time employment. Most employers have switched up to the you work 30 hours so they don't have to pay you benefits and all the other stuff. Most people, mediocre wage, no benefits. While all these corporations are employing the people in this more favorable scheme for them, the investor class going through the roof. We've produced more billionaires in this time, in the last decade, than we ever have. And we've also grown the poverty ranks, by huge numbers. And the middle class, a lot of it has slipped into the poverty limits. The United States of America, according to even what's given on our own papers, has the worst wealth disparity in the history of any nation of the world right now. Meaning the richest and the poorest are the furthest apart they've ever been. That's not a good thing. And look at who's benefiting. The investor class. And look how the whole nation's structured. Investors, they don't really have to pay taxes on their investment. Think about how nice it is. They don't even have to work. They just invest in these corporations that sell all this stuff, employ all these people, and screw over all the consumers and employees so the investors can have it. And people get up and put on their pants so they can go work for these companies and sit in traffic all day and waste their lives that's already been wasted by this system. And then they put their hope in the casino because they think the market's legitimate. They don't realize it's controlled by a bunch of shysters that dupe people out of their money. No different than the casino. And who's the head president right now? Donald Trump, Humpty Dumpty, who sat on the wall like Wall Street, who used to manage the casinos in New Jersey where the gangsters hang at? The word mafia has the same gematria as president, as agent, as authority, as 47 is the number. The big number in D.C., the number of degrees on the Freemason compass, the nation, the Zionist nation of Israel was recognized, or the year the Zionist nation of Israel was recognized. 1947, November 29th, the 333rd day of the year, and the year 47. Time of the 33rd president. So here's how we get from Tisha B'Av to the market at 13.4%, and how this might signal impending doom. If you have a lot of money tied up in Wall Street, I'd start doing your homework. 911 is the 156th prime number. Okay? The construction firm that built the World Trade Centers from Seattle, they have name gematria of 156. The word architect, gematria of 156. The Freemasons are builders. It's Freemasonry that's behind all of this coding. This scheme. Freemasonry based in Jewish history, based in Solomon's Temple, Tisha B'Av. Solomon's Temple has the same gematria as Freemasonry, as secret society, as Rosicrucian, as Rose Cross. Anyway, 911, the 156th prime, when you write out 33, it sums to 156. And just to make a point here, let me pull up Solomon's Temple on the Gematrinator calculator. I want you to really appreciate this, just in case you've never watched one of my videos before. We talked about the 58. The 68, also super relevant. 1968, 911 made the national emergency dialing code. World Trade Center construction began in New York, August of 68. The groundbreaking was in 66. Construction began August of 68. George W. Bush also graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones. His birthday is July 6th, a span of 68 days from September 11th. CIA equals 66. His father, the head of the CIA. Notice Solomon's Temple also 185. Try World Trade Center, 185. And there's a million more things. Notice the 77. Try September 11th. Try Flight 77 hitting the 77-foot-tall Pentagon on the 77th meridian exactly 77 minutes after taking off. Try earlier this year the story about the pancake eating contest, 77, where a young girl died in this contest whose father died in the collapse of the towers blamed on the pancake theory. Twin Towers, approved by the 49th governor of New York. They built the new One World Trade Center, 104 stories tall. It's called One World Trade Center 93, like 93 World Trade Center bombing, blamed on the blind sheik, 93. If you watched the earlier video, we talked about 177, if you want to watch the longer version with some other information. The most important information I ever put out on this channel. Everyone, if you have not seen the video, if you're watching this later, search Zachary K. Hubbard, May 23rd, May Sun, S-U-N, and then the word Mason, M-A-S-O-N. Finally connected it. May 23rd, May, the sun time. Check it out. Mind-blowing. Anyway, 911, 156 prime, 33, 156, Dow Jones 33. They like to use 33 in their destruction rituals. 33, number of sacrifice. Think about Jesus on the cross at age 33. By the way, September 11th, New Year's Day of the Coptic calendar, a lot of people think that's the true birthday of Jesus Christ. Jesus equals 74, cross 74, Messiah 74, gospel 74, parables 74, holiday 74, Independence Day 74. New York City on the 74th meridian, World Trade Centers came down at 33 years of age. Crucifix equals 93, Crucifix 93, God's Son 93, Nazareth 93, One World Trade Center 93. The symbol now remembering the World Trade Centers that were there. 93, the reflection of 39. Why did I write New York? New York. Everything in New York's 39. The reflection of 93. 39 books in the Old Testament. NY 39. NYC 39. Empire 39. MSG for Madison Square Garden 39. You know. And speaking of which, 39 in New York City, we're talking about the Dow. The Dow on Wall Street in New York, 39. You see? Anyhow, little more. We're talking about 911, 156, 33. If you write 666, it sums to 156. The number of man, which is what 666 is 156. Did you know that man has 33 vertebrae in the spine? The word people's 33, the word person 33, the word society 33, the word order 33. Can it all be a coincidence? 666, the number of man, Dow Jones, New York. And what's the manpower of this nation living for? Monies, dollars, cents, all controlled through Wall Street. And guess what happens? When they collapse Wall Street, they collapse humanity with it. They've done it many times before. They've done it in the U.S. They've done it all over the world. Lots of books on this. Manufactured collapses to bring down societies. And why do they do this? Because people who are desperate will do anything. And that's what the master wants. Because the master wants to steer. And the master who collapsed the system will come back and provide the solution. Give up your child to go fight North Korea for the WannaCry virus that expanded to take down your power grid. We just found out, breaking report, Kim Jong-un related to Osama bin Laden, who is a half relative of Adolf Hitler. You know what I mean? They can just tell anybody anything in America. Next to everyone at the water cooler, did you hear that? Kim Jong-un's related to Osama bin Laden and Adolf Hitler. A month later, they retract the story and no one cares. Welcome to America. Oh, never mind, there weren't any weapons of mass destruction. Sorry for the last 15 years of warfare. Oh, did your child die over there? Oh, was your child traumatized over there? Did your child come back with Gulf War syndrome? Did your child die from cancer because you were using depleted uranium? Be all that you can be in the toxic military. See, Truth Seeker, that's why I'm so pissed off, really. I nearly joined the military to get the college dollars, because I don't come from much. But I knew that this nation was sick, and I knew there was something wrong with the military. And I even told the recruiter that to his face, and he said, well, you know what? It's the perfect time to join. There'll probably never be another war in your lifetime. That was told to me before my senior year of high school, which began in 2000 and ended in 2001. Class of 2001. Not even that old, but old enough to see. And have been, since even back then. That recruiter told me there'd probably never be another war in my lifetime. Imagine if I took his advice. Probably would have been on my 10th tour. See, it's all lies, and all the youth are being lied to. I was lied to my whole life. I want it so other youth don't have to go through living all the lies. We don't deserve to be lied to our whole lives. Told we can't handle the truth. See, everyone accepts that. When I was a kid growing up, there was that a few good men with Jack Nicholson. That was the line everybody said. It was like a big joke. You can't handle the truth. Huh. That was before 9/11. You know, it's like they prepped us. They made that the most popular movie line of the 90s. That and Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. Right after his Predator line, stick around. The Governator. The big joke we're living in. But look at this. Donald Trump, Wall Street. Think about it. He ran on building the wall. Donald Trump announced as the 45th president on November 9th, the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. The fall of the wall, Donald Trump. Anniversary, November 9th, 11/9. 11/9. Tisha B'Av. You see? Donald Trump talking to those sheep. Everyone can do this. You can tell your friend to verify this on a Google search. Everybody knows what Google is. Say, type Donald Trump sheep 9 space 11. Tell them to type that in, and they're going to see, boom, videos popping up. And you know who started this whole trend? Yours truly. Yours truly started this whole trend. Got these posted all over my blog here. Donald Trump, a commercial from 2010, talking to sheep 11 and 9. This sheep at the end of the commercial says, "Where is your dignity?" Think about it. With this chump as the president. This is the exact suit and tie he wore on election night. His fat ass. This guy's a piece of work. Have I showed you what Donald equals in gematria? Look at this. Donald, Jewish gematria, 119. Tisha B'Av, 9/11. Donald Trump, the wall. Hold on. Donald Trump, 48. He had his convention in Cleveland, 48. Wall, 48. Illuminati, 48. Cleave the land when they collapse the wall. I think this is it. I think this is their sick joke. They're going to cleave the land. They've done it before. They're going to fuck us up with the chumpster, the casino man, Mr. Bailout, Mr. I need the poor taxpayer to bail my sorry ass out again, born with the silver spoon in my mouth. Here, we got to finish. 119, the reflection of 911. All-seeing eye, 119. Star of David, they call Donald Trump the first Jewish president. Master plan. You see? Donald Trump's going to be at the Vatican with Pope Francis. Francis 119, Vatican 119. You know who created the Catholic Church? The same people who like the gematria. Controlled opposition. Meant to steer people astray. Donald Trump's going to be there on the 144th day of the year, old Donald. 144th day of the year. He's the 44th man to be president. 45th president, but the 44th person to do it, because Grover Cleveland had a split term. 44 even connects to 45. Isn't that amazing? If only we knew the reverse gematria then. 44 kings of ancient Israel, truth seeker. 44. Donald Trump, the 44th person to be president. Cleave the land. Then they'll have us really ready to accept the next phase of the New World Order. Everyone who says the New World Order is coming doesn't get it. The New World Order is an old world order. It created this nation. It gets worse with time. There's been better periods to live. A lot of people my age, our parents probably lived in the most glorious time to be an American citizen. No war, you know, all this convenience, but they didn't realize what the agenda was. They didn't realize where it was taking us. All this convenience and not even really having to think about things. Just chill back on the sofa, sip the beer, enjoy the TV. Next thing you know, you're taking it up your ass. You're sending off your youth to fight in some fucked up war that doesn't need to happen, based on some lie as stupid as WannaCry. God. Blame it on North Korea, the puppet state. The dictator puppet state, the same place we live. In America, we call our dictator puppet state a democracy. It's not. Nobody's ever chosen a president. It's all been a big circus, Freemason show from the beginning. All of it. Here. For anyone who's in their head going, well, what about JFK? Let me tell you about JFK here. JFK assassination 187 happened in the 187th year of the nation's existence. Let's take it to the next step. Sumerian gematria, where you multiply times 6. JFK assassination equals 1122. You see? 1122, JFK assassinated November 22nd in the 187th year of the nation's existence. And maybe you're saying, how do I know it's the 187th year? Well, you go and you do a little homework, which I'll do for you. And just to remind you, it only takes seconds to do this stuff. 7/4/1776 to 11/22/1963. Where's that put us? That puts us at 187 years, 4 months, and 18 days. Remember Ivanka Trump, the first one to wear baby blue since Jackie Kennedy on Inauguration Day? JFK was the 44th term president. JFK, look at this. JFK, the 35th president, the only Catholic president. He was 46 when he was killed. He was the 44th term president. You know, presidents, some serve 2 terms. He was the 44th term. Kill 44. When you write out 44, it sums to 144. Just like the United States of America, 144. Just like corporation, 144. And definition for a corporation, group of people who rule a government. That's what we live in. A military corporation. Military, 44. All of this stuff leads to war. JFK, Vietnam, think about it. Lyndon B. Johnson, Zionist stooge. So anyway, JFK assassination, it was all planned. He was killed in the middle of Dealey Plaza, named after a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason on 11/22. The name Kennedy's 33. He's from a family of Masons himself who sell out the nation with agenda. And the agenda of the 60s was intimidate the people. Instill the mindset that if you speak out, you'll be killed. People leave the same message every day. Zach, how come you're not killed if you're not a shill? You see, your mind has been trained. You've been trained that if you speak out, you're going to be murdered. And you know what? My life's not over yet. I've had a lot happen to me already. Better check my resume and everything that's been going on in the years I've been speaking out. I've been financially murdered and worse. You know? Reputation murdered and worse. I've been arrested in my own front yard for nothing. But the point is, they want you scared. And don't be scared because that's what they want. You got to fight back. You got to think, okay, I'm going to fight back. More people are going to fight back. There's going to be safety in numbers. JFK died on the first day of Sagittarius. I spelled Sagittarius wrong. He died on the first day of Sagittarius. Gematria of 144. Astrological symbol having to do with Saturn, the keeper of time. His brother died at 1:44 in the morning. This is the number that has to do with time. Lincoln, the first presidential assassination, shot on April 14th, 14/4. The name Abraham, 44. Biblical, Abraham, shot by an actor in a theater. Look at the overlap with 46. If you write out April, it sums to 56. The word president, single reduction is 56. Hitler and Lincoln dead at age 56. Blame for wars in April. Hitler's whole story is by the numbers. But anyway, getting off tangent, just trying to make the point. The Kennedys. Robert Kennedy died on June 6th. 6/6. 6/6. His assassin was Sirhan, 66. He was shot June 5th, which is the 156th day of the year. 33, 156. 911. MLK killed on April 4th, 68. Bobby Kennedy was killed 10 days. 10 days later equals 144. He was killed 10 days after giving a speech about Martin Luther King Jr., his assassination, and gun control. Lincoln wrote in his journal on April 4th, 10 days before being shot, that he dreamt of being assassinated. Talk about mocking. Pretty sure Lincoln's just fine, just another person who sold us out in the course of time, just like JFK did. JFK did it in a more sophisticated time, the era of television. Mr. Handsome, the president, with the beautiful wife, with his head blown off. In the Zapruder film made by a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason, which Zapruder was. Think about how Zapruder's from Russia, like Oswald was supposedly from Russia. You guys, Oswald, 74, like Masonic, like killing, used again and again, like Jesus, like cross, 33, 11/22, Kennedy from Massachusetts, one of 3 states with the 33 gematria in full reduction. If I went back, I'm trying to do it off the top of my head. There's something with JFK's assassination in 134 too, you know, where we began. You can go back and look through my old videos, the notes, it's there. I can't recall it right now, but I know it's there. Just this 134 thing. connected to destruction and killing all throughout history. It's been staring me in the face. I haven't been able to figure out what it is. Today I say, now it all makes sense. Tisha B'Av. We're going through these annual rituals that are always tributes to the same thing in history with the same numbers coded out. Just one more time. Herod's temple, the second temple to be destroyed by the Roman Empire. They say all roads lead to Rome. World Trade Center's on the 74th meridian. And the first one, Solomon's temple. Solomon's temple had the checkerboard floor, which it's remembered for, which Masons use in their lodge. Checkerboard 93. Checkerboard floor also 93. It all comes back to Solomon's temple. Duality, the two pillars, black and white, day and night, time. Think about it. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time. Encore. I get so carried away with the rants, I forget about the main topic sometimes. Apologies. I do it every week on my radio show, too. I'm terrible. Anyway, Donald Trump for review. Gematria 48 like Cleveland, like Wall, like Illuminati. This year, on February 17th, the 48th day of the year, Hollywood released the movie The Great Wall. And speaking of Hollywood, Hollywood Gematria 48, as well as 33, that magic number. Hollywood on the 48th day comes out with The Great Wall with Matt Damon. Speaking of The Martian. Look at this. Around the same time Donald Trump was elected the president, Quicken began running that ad of Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall and breaking. And Humpty Dumpty equals 58. Donald Trump, the winner of the 58th presidential election, he announced he was running for president from his 58-story Trump Tower in New York. 58-story. 58. This is a nation founded by Freemasons. And the single reduction, Washington, 58. Just like United States, 58. Just like Jerusalem. And Donald Trump is going to be in Israel May 23rd for Jerusalem Day, the land of Solomon's temple. Jerusalem Day 44, Trump the 44th person to be president, 44 kings of Israel, Israel 44, like Zion 44, like Thelema, if you kick in the H exception, which is the same as single reduction in reverse. It might seem gimmicky if you're new here, but when you study this language, you'll appreciate it. Zion, Israel, and Thelema, most closely connected through 64, which is more important anyway. Zion 64, Israel 64, Thelema 64. The motto of Thelema is, do what thou wilt, 64. In the Bible, it says the synagogue of Satan, 64, will rule in the end times. Israel, the false Jew nation, the Zionist nation, 64 spaces on the chessboard. Check out chessboard, 58, with the checkerboard pattern. Think about it. Think about it. Chessboard, 68, like Solomon's temple too, and that's where the pattern comes from. Duality, black and white, day and night. Speaking of black and white, True Seeker, that's 113, just like Scottish, as in Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Donald Trump gets a lot of 113 tributes in the headlines, because he is one. But just think about all the predictive programming, what we know from history, the collapse of the markets. After 9/11, the market tanked. You know, usually when things happen to the market, they happen at the beginning of the presidential term throughout history. We're in the first year of Trump, Mr. Casino Man, Mr. New Jersey. And speaking of New Jersey, just yesterday, New Jersey, on May 15th, had a plane crash that hit 2 buildings exactly 119 days before September 11th. New Jersey 119, 119 days before September 11th. These Tisha B'Av rituals, they go on all the time, and now we know it. When you see 134, now you know it. This is it. And this is what the market's about last year, finishing up 13.4%. It's all a manipulation by the numbers, foretelling their agenda. This is how they always do it. 9/11 was no accident. Not at all. Got a lot of videos on 9/11 with a lot more information. Until next time.